What's good, everybody? We got a great show for you today. We got the public announcer for the San Francisco Giants, Carolyn McArdle, and we'll be getting into that soon. But first, I wanted to just explain to you what's going on. After a lot of thought, we decided to change our name. We are no longer Skaters on Baseball. We are now Forever SF Giants Podcast. The same subscription, the same links, everything's the same, just the name has changed.
This is Carolyn McArdle, public address announcer for your San Francisco Giants, and you're listening to Forever SF Giants.
Yes, and this is her first ever podcast appearance right here, baby!
Well, good morning and welcome back to Forever Giants Podcast. I'm Christian. I'm here with my partner, Schmitty. And today we have a real treat, a very special guest, Carolyn McArdle, who is the Giants public address announcer at Oracle Park. So anytime you go take in a game and you hear any of those announcements coming through and that sparkling voice, that's Carolyn. And here she is. So good morning, Carolyn. How are you?
I'm great. What a nice introduction that is. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I was thinking we should do the introduction like, and now, joining the podcast, it's Carolyn McArdle. Carolyn McArdle.
I love it. I love it. Instead of Jung-Hoo Lee, it's Carolyn. Yeah. I feel like Jung-Hoo Lee is much easier to chant than Carolyn McArdle. We'll stick with Jung-Hoo.
If it's just your first name and it's 3 syllables, it almost comes out the same. It's Carolyn. Carolyn,
no, I'm still
right?
sticking with Jung-Hoo Lee.
Yeah.
Boy, has he taken over, though, right? I mean,
I know.
He's got the loudest pop in the crowd, and I think he's in top 20 uniform sales in all of baseball.
No, it's crazy when we pan the crowd, when our camera guys pan the crowd and girls, like, we see those Jung-Hoo jerseys everywhere now, and I love it. Like, that's one of the best things about being at the park is seeing the love that the fans have for the players and seeing the, Adames jerseys and the Bailey jerseys and the Jung-Hoo Lee jerseys. It's awesome. I love it.
Mm.
Very cool. Very cool. So how did you get here? I mean, when you were a kid, did you dream of being a radio personality and a public address announcer and all these things, or did you have a completely different idea about where your life was going to go as an adult?
I have always been into music. Like, I was a band geek. Back in the day, I played all the instruments in high school, middle school. I took private lessons. I've always loved music. So I knew there was something for me in my world with music. I don't know if you guys remember Casey Kasem on the radio way back in the day. Mm-hmm. Okay. I used to record Casey Kasem's top 40 shows and like top 40 countdowns, and I record songs off the radio. So I already knew that my life was music heavy, and that's the direction I was going to take. When I got into high school, there was a girl that was doing the PA announcements at school. Remember how over the intercom would be like, good morning? Like, I went to Ignatia Valley High School in Concord. It'd be like, good morning, Warriors, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I want to do that. Like, announce to the whole school. Nobody knows, can see that person's face. It's just a voice, So you take that and then you fast forward into college. I became a radio and television major with my emphasis in radio and got an internship and wound up working. I started in radio back in the early 90s here in the Bay Area. And so that's how I fulfilled my love for music, is just playing songs on the radio, which I still do to this day. On the breeze. But when I was doing radio a few years ago, 5+ years ago, I grew up playing baseball, softball. I swam in college. I've always been an athlete. I love sports and I love baseball. I just remember the days of being out in the field and smelling the grass and spending your summers playing baseball and going to pool parties with your friends after. And we go to the Coliseum to A's games because we still live in the East Bay. So for me, I was like, how do I take this a step further? I've been doing radio for 30-something years, but I love sports too. What if I gave this public address announcing thing a try? And so I ended up literally, you guys, going to Google and Googling Bay Area public address announcer jobs. That is all I did. Up came an opportunity through Indeed for University of Pacific in Stockton, UOP, that they were looking for a softball PA announcer. And I'm like, I don't have anything on my resume. So I wrote to them, sent an email and just said, I work for iHeartRadio in San Francisco. I played softball growing up. I certainly know how to announce on a microphone. Like, would you be willing to talk to me? And they were so nice and gave me the job. And that was my initial entry into it. And from there, I'm like, okay, I'm in Stockton. It's far. I was driving for, not making a ton of money, we'll just say, going to Stockton to do softball. And then I started doing water polo for them. I did some swim meets. I did some basketball. I did some baseball. But I wanted to be closer to home. So then I got connected with Stanford and called it Stanford, again, doing gymnastics and volleyball. Like, I've learned so many sports that I never thought I would know. Still Stanford from Concord, kind of far. And so then I reached out to Cal, and that's where I still am. I do stuff at Cal. I was doing softball for them and women's gymnastics with the second best team in the nation, like incredible athletes at Cal, obviously. And I still do Cal football to this day. So I wound up at Cal, #Go Bears.
Go Bears.
So at Cal, we have 2 PA announcers. There's Gary, who's up in the booth doing the play-by-play, and I'm down on the field bringing back players from the past, like the alum, and doing the honoring, ceremonies where we honor players or fans or whatever the case may be. So I PA at Cal still for Cal football, and then it was like, well, where else can this go? And this opportunity popped up for the River Cats, the Giants minor league team in Sacramento. I applied for that, and they literally wrote me back same day and said, we actually need a backup. Do you want to come up here and train? I did. The guy who was PAing for them left within a year to move to LA. Oh. I got in that seat, and not that you asked for me to talk this long about this, but this is kind of like the journey of how I wound up at Oracle Park. Was he left, I'm in the seat, and then the Giants, of course, were looking for an announcer in March of 2024, a new PA, and Dave Fleming came. Obviously, the Giants came to an exhibition game that I was
Stanford Cardinal Dave Fleming.
Yes. And he was there, and he asked to see me after the game, the exhibition game, and he's like, you're incredible. Like, we're looking for a PA announcer. Let me send a text. And even when they were bringing people in 2024 to audition, I was the last person they called in. I honestly, you guys, at one point thought, I'm never getting this call. Like, they're not going to call me. And I thought it was so confusing because I thought Dave Fleming liked me, and I'm the minor league PA announcer. Why am I not getting the call? But eventually the call came, and I made it into the audition rotation, and the rest is history. So that is a very long. Is this podcast over? Are we done?
No, that's exactly the answer. Started. Yeah, the perfect answer to the question.
You can tell I'm a radio person that I talk a lot.
It's all good with us. So you basically got a job recommendation from Dave Fleming, which is like, that's huge, because Greg and I both feel like we have the best broadcast teams in all of baseball.
Oh my gosh!
With John and Dave and with Kruk and Kipe, like we're blessed with those guys. So, I mean, that's pretty high praise if it's coming from Dave, and his brother is in it too, right? I mean, it's a family thing. So yeah, that's awesome.
And even hearing Hunter and FP in there, like, we have the best broadcast team. Like, what an honor for me to be able to jump into this and be working alongside these guys. They are the best in the business. And it's not like we're saying it because you see this online all the time from people saying, yeah, the Giants do have the best broadcast team. Like, it is a well-known fact. We're so lucky.
Yeah, the times that I notice it the most is when I'm traveling and I'm watching like another team. Like, let's say you're in Atlanta and you're watching the Braves game and you're like, whoa, this announcing's a little different than ours. Not as fun, like how Kruk and Kipe go into the crowd and like kind of just get the people, the fans involved with what they're talking about. It's amazing. The question I have for you is, I'm sure your job is more than what it obviously looks like, just announcing the next batter and stuff. What would you say are like with this whole process of what you've done, what would you tell someone that was maybe trying to do this? Is it like, you better have that great voice, you better be, jolly, energetic? Like, what are some of the things that, the characteristics you would want somebody to have to go into an interview?
I think that, having a good voice certainly helps. But I think you want to have the skill first. You want to know how to do the job. For me, I am so glad that my journey took me the route that it did. Starting in radio, having that down, being used to working with the public, being used to broadcasting, knowing how to speak from my stomach instead of my throat. Like, I had all that down going into it, and then I got the practice in my college years when I was doing the colleges. And that's not to say that that's just practice and I throw it away. Like, I'm genuinely appreciative of, and that's why I'm still at Cal. I love what I do, but all of those experiences in a crazy way, I feel like the universe was preparing me for this. Did I ever think I'd be the PA announcer for the Giants? No, not in a million years. I thought the River Cats was amazing and I was going to stay there forever. But then this door opened, right? So I would say to anybody that's looking to get into it, if you think you have the voice and you have the confidence to do it, you've got to have confidence to be able to speak in front of 40 or sometimes 41,000 people who are sitting right there. If you make a mistake, they're right there. You're going to know. You're going to hear it. And so I would say start at the college level, or heck, even the high school level. Like, go to a high school and say, does your football team need an announcer? Does your baseball or softball team need an announcer? Your basketball team, whatever sport you want to do, start low, get in, build up your confidence, get your chops sharp, and then kind of work your way up. And you'll find once you're in the inner circle, you get to know people. It's like any industry, right? It's all networking. And then you find your way, to wherever your final destination is going to be. But get that practice, and it helps a lot. Your confidence is super important.
Sure.
Yeah. So you mentioned being in the stadium and there's 40,000 plus people there. Are you ever nervous? Were you nervous the first time? Are you still nervous now? Or are you just confident and you just walk in there and go, yep, I got this?
Anybody that says they're not nervous for any job like that, speaking into a microphone in front of that many people, is totally lying. There's no way. I mean, there are moments when I'm like, hey, it's the Giants Vision Dance Cam. You know what to do. Get on your feet. We want to see those dance moves. I've said it a million times, right? Or, please rise for the Star Spangled Banner. Like, those are things that you're confident, but again, Star Spangled Banner is something that you would think, oh, she does this every game. She's got it down. But when you can hear a pin drop in a stadium and you're on the mic, you get a little nervous. The things that make me the most nervous are when we have ceremonies that really matter. When we're honoring someone that passed and it's a moment of silence. And I know that the feed is going out over the TV too. And you can hear me take a breath. Or, when it's a big moment like that, we're bringing back former players, forever Giants. Yes. Do I want to mess up in front of Buster Posey when I'm saying, catching for Brandon Crawford as Buster Posey? I don't want to mess those moments up. So there are moments when I certainly get nervous, but and also when there's a tricky word in my script. If there's a tricky word in my script and I see, you have a tendency as an announcer sometimes, no matter how many times you look at the script, if you see a word that you fear may throw you, you obsess over that word. And you say it a million times in your head, but still, as you're getting to that word, you're thinking, here it comes, and you get through, and you're like, sometimes my hands are like this on my desk, like flat, like I'm literally hanging on. But hopefully people in the crowd that are listening don't know. But all that being said, on the other side of it, the flip side, there are moments when I feel completely confident and I'm just, let's go. When, we're doing like the attendance number or I'm welcoming the team to the field. Please welcome to the field your 2025 San Francisco Giants. Like, I am feeding off the energy of those people in the stands. Like, I don't think fans realize, from my standpoint, and probably the broadcasters as well, the fans, you fuel us, you fuel the players, and I think the players have done a good job in interviews I've seen of making sure the fans know, like, your voices are heard. We feed off that. So it's just an energy that's hard to explain, but you guys know the feeling. You've been to the games. Like, it's a vibe, for sure.
Yeah, and we have arguably some of the best fans in the league as well as the announcers. So
heck yeah,
it's, that place. Yeah. I mean, during the playoff runs in the 2010s, the energy in there was just incredible. It was packed house every night. I mean, they had hundreds of back-to-back sellout games at that point in time. So yeah. it's you could totally feed off the energy, for sure. So
and we've had a lot of sellouts this year for sure too, and same thing. I mean, even this past weekend with the Dodgers in town, there were a lot of Dodger fans in the stands, don't get me wrong, and there always will be. But I just felt like, I felt like the energy in that place in Oracle all 3 days was we lost the series, but I haven't found one person that has said I didn't have a good time. Like, everybody was like, we lost, but it was still fun. I'm like, that's what it's all about right there.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we were joking before we came on the air about royalty, but the San Francisco Giants obviously have a rich history of amazing people that have been affiliated with the team, going back to Willie Mays and all the way to the present. Has there been a moment where you met Buster Posey for the first time? Barry Bonds comes by. Is there a part where you're kind of had a fan out situation, or ooh, this is this is everything as a baseball fan?
I have two stories for you. So first was a quicker story. The first one was meeting Buster Posey, since you brought him up. I just met him this year, and it was after one of the play ball lunches that Dave Fleming had hosted, but I got up and did player intros to introduce the players for the people that were at the lunch. And Buster was sitting, I'm introducing these players, and I'm still pretty new this year as an announcer, even though I did, 58 of the 81 games last season. This is my first full season, and so I'm at this play ball lunch earlier in the year, and I'm talking, and I look down, and Buster Posey is literally sitting at the table in front of me, and I just had this moment of, what is my life right now? What has happened in the past year? So the event was over, and I'm leaving, and I'm on the concourse, and of course no one's there. It's a weekday, so I'm walking by myself, leaving, and I see Buster and Amy G talking just in the concourse. Now, I'm not going to go interrupt them and say, hey guys, I should say that I know Amy pretty darn well. We've met several times. I adore Amy G. She is one of the best. And so I already knew her, but I wasn't going to stop. So I kind of just waved and kept walking. And Buster comes around, stops and says, excuse me, to Amy, and says, Carolyn, I'm Buster. I haven't met you yet. Welcome. You sound great. And he shook my hand. Well, what the story I love to tell is that I had just been to the restroom before meeting him and washed my hands, but I hadn't dried my hands all the way. So they were a little bit wet still. And now it's Buster Posey, and it's the first time I'm meeting him, and my hand is still a little wet. And I'm like, do I even tell Buster my hand's wet because I went to the restroom, but they're clean? And then I just did, nice to meet you, Buster, and got the heck out of there. So it was really fun. I'm like, that had to be my first. Totally. Now, the second moment, I have to say, my fangirl moment is probably Dusty Baker. One of the best. It not just being Dusty Baker, a manager, player, but just as a human being. And so I've met him before, but the most recent time was I was up in Sacramento. I went up to catch a River Cats game earlier this season, and I know the staff at the River Cats very well because I was there for so many seasons. And one of the guest services guys was like, hey, Dusty's here. He's in suite whatever it was, by himself, just watching the game, which Dusty does a lot because he lives up in the Sacramento area. And so I went into the suite, and he's like, oh, hey, Carolyn. And I was talking to him like we've met each other enough to know each other. But there was a moment where I'm sitting there watching the game saying, hey, what are you thinking of this team? It was earlier in the season, and Dusty's giving me the scoop on the team, and we're talking about the field at Sutter Health Park and how are they going to handle this with this many games, and now the athletics there as well, and you got the whole thing. And just having this moment, and I'm sitting here thinking, Dusty Baker's drinking a beer. I'm back at the River Cats, but I work for the Giants now, and he's talking to me about the field and the team. And it just is kind of one of those moments where it's surreal, right?
Sure.
And he's just such a good guy. And again, just like you said, royalty, right? I mean, just an incredible guy and just an incredible moment. So I think meeting Buster for the first time and how well respected Buster is, and then meeting Dusty and having that moment with Dusty, for me, are my fangirl moments so far since I've been on this journey.
Very cool. It's awesome because the Giants seem to really bring people in based on character a lot of times. So that whole lineage of players, like everybody's a class act, everybody's really personable, and it just feels like it's just good vibes at the ballpark with the Giants. That's what it feels like.
Agree.
And that's the way it's been almost my entire life since Candlestick when I was a little kid. So the players were always really, they wanted to sign autographs for kids. They wanted to throw balls out to kids. They wanted to take the time to interact with the fans, even in those years where the team was terrible. You know?
That says a lot about the players, though. You know, it's like if they're not having a great season, but they're still willing to go out there and have those moments with fans and remember that that's part of one of the biggest parts of their jobs, right, is interacting with the public and certainly being an inspiration to kids. Like, that says a lot about their character.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So are you, when you announce a game or you do the public address, are you in the same booth with our radio guys and TV guys, or do you have a separate, like a special little nest that you sit in to do it?
I have a nest.
Okay.
The guys are a little bit down to my left, so in my booth, I'm in the PA booth. So the way that it goes on our floor, we're up on the third floor. It's our control room with our director, Carl, and then people doing the video boards, the scoreboards, replay. They are all in the room next to me. We have a glass window that separates it. My booth, which is the PA booth, is me, my producer, my producer, Billy, our DJ, Jeremy. So Jeremy's the one that plays all the music you hear, aside from DJ Umami when she's down on the field. But Jeremy does all the sound effects you hear, like when we get a walk, the record scratch with the "I'm walking here." That's Jeremy's playing that off of his DJ board, all that stuff. So it's Billy, Jeremy, me in that booth. There are a couple of empty rooms next to us that I think management kind of sits in during the games. And then you've got the Kruk and Kipe and John Miller and Dave Fleming, and it just goes down. You'll see like home TV or Giants TV, visiting TV, home radio, visiting radio, Spanish radio, Spanish or visiting radio, Spanish home radio. So it goes all the way down the line. So those guys, I see them all the time in the hallway. We see each other in press dining. And then we kind of all go into our separate rooms. It's kind of cool because you're impressed dining and Kruk and Kipe are sitting there eating frozen yogurt and French fries or whatever. And then everybody's like, okay, let's get down to business. So we just go to work.
That's cool. Those guys always have, those guys have so many stories to tell that they're never on. Like, I've watched them in so many situations and they can just be like, all right, I got this story for this situation. You know what I mean? It's like it's endless with those guys. I was going to ask you about, like, what is your vision for basically females interacting in baseball? Like, we had Alyssa knock-in. It was groundbreaking. We've had, Candlestick. I think the lady that did that was the first PA.
Sherry Davis, yeah.
Yeah, yourself. What is the balance you have between the Giants are doing it right versus we have a ways to go?
I mean, we definitely have a ways to go, but we're off to a good start, right? You're seeing more and more female public address announcers, not just, in baseball, but in other sports as well. You're seeing more sideline reporters that are women. And so I think we're headed in the right direction. We just have to keep grinding and keep going.
Okay.
I appreciate that the Giants gave another female a shot at being the PA announcer. Like, I genuinely appreciate it, but I also will say, like, I came from the minor league team. I didn't just get this job because I was a female. Like, I worked for this job,
Sure.
I put in a lot of miles on my car and worked a lot of hours. But, and we see women, on other major league teams that are announcing.
Sure.
And so it's happening, and I think we'll get there someday, but at least it's happening. Like, that's huge. So I'm just honored to be a part of it. I'm still kind of in the infancy, I think, of this. And so it feels great to be a part of it. And now to have that, pardon the pun, microphone to help, spread the word and make those inroads and continue that journey for other women. And especially, like we were talking earlier about how players get out there and talk to the kids, and even if they're having like a bad season or whatever the case may be, they're still out there remembering that's why we're here. And the same could be said for my job too. I'm here to inspire kids, whether it be like young boys or little girls that are growing up, that we have plenty of little girls that walk by the booth and wave and high five, and I give them a Willie Mays pin, and who knows, one of those girls could be in the booth and say, I remember I met Carolyn all those years ago when I was little. So, I just try and be there for the kids and be an inspiration for them, because I think by the time they grow up, it's going to be a much different place, and it'll be more of a normal thing to have women in the booth.
Yeah, and any positive interaction. I mean, baseball's for kids, basically. I mean, we're just grown-up kids. We love baseball. True. And so, any positive interaction with those kids that you have, or anybody else, the players and management, anybody, it's great. I think it creates fans for life, but I think it's also inspiring to kids, because every kid who plays baseball dreams of being a major league player.
It's so
going
true.
to the World Series.
The jobs are so far and few between too, right? There's only so many spots on the roster. There's only so many people needed on the mic. There's only so many room for broadcasters. So it's like, if you are lucky enough like us to have these jobs, do a good job with it. Like, be grateful. And I think our broadcasters absolutely are. I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm saying, like, it's a reminder. Like, I tell myself every day, like, you're so lucky to have this job. Go do some good with it. Go out and let people, like, help people and listen to people and talk to people and make someone else's day brighter, because you're darn lucky to have the job that you have. Yeah.
And it's also, when you love what you do, it's not so much like a job, which I think tends to have you reach out to other people with a more positive attitude and share with, I mean, I certainly do that with my work. I'm a digital designer and art director. And so I don't view it as work. I enjoy it. So I'm able to sometimes pass on information, skills, and things like that to other designers, and it feels good to do it.
Yeah. So. I always feel like when you really enjoy your job, it becomes a hobby. Like for me, I get paid for a couple of great hobbies, doing, working as a DJ on the Breeze, and then, of course, as the PA announcer for the Giants. I always tell people, like, I just get paid for a couple of great hobbies. And I'm extremely grateful that this is my life, that I get to do this. I mean, it's hard. It's long hours. Don't get me wrong. When I am at Oracle Park and I'm saying good night from Oracle Park, and it's 9:45 at night, and my alarm goes off at 4, and I'm not going to go to sleep till 11 something. Those are tough nights. But you know what? I wouldn't change anything. I can't be upset at being at a Giants game on the mic until 9:45 at night and getting to be on the Breeze at 6 a.m. on a mic again. Like, I have the best life. I'm so grateful.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. So with all that work and all those hours that you put in, I mean, what's your game day preparation like for when you go to the stadium? Is it a lot? Do you have to go through a lot of information? I mean, obviously you mentioned the special events and things, but how much work goes into it before you actually jump on the microphone?
A bit, for sure. I mean, I'm already thinking about, okay, who's in town next time? I know it's the Mets. Okay, I've got to pull their 40-man roster. I've got to make sure I know their pronunciations, at least to the best of my ability. And that involves, not only do I keep the rosters from the previous season, and it's funny, last season being my first season, I had kept all the rosters from the minors. And you see a lot of these players, obviously in the minors, so I would go back to whatever team they were on, find a pronunciation that I wrote down for them. So like this year, I'm working off last year's. The Mets, who are coming to town, I think it's July 25th, 26th, 27th, I've got their roster from last year, because they were the first team I announced, April 22nd, 2024. And so I will go back and look at the Mets roster, pull pronunciations off there, transfer them to this 40-man roster that I have this year, make sure I know them. If there are names I can't find, I go online and look at interviews with players because I always figure if you're interviewing a player, you probably know the pronunciation of their name. But then I'll double check. Like I'll get to the ballpark. We have a 3-hour call time before the game. So if we've got a 6:45 game, I have to be in my seat at 3:45. We have a production meeting, usually about 30 minutes after you get there. That production meeting goes through the entire run of show from Therese and Anthony down on the field saying, "Welcome to Oracle Park," to when I say goodbye. So we go through everything to make sure everybody from camera to me to, our director to video, that everybody's ready to go. And then after that, we have a little bit of a break where you can go get something to eat. If I'm not sure on a pronunciation, I'll go over to the visiting radio or visiting TV and just introduce myself and ask for a particular pronunciation. And you'd be surprised how many times, you're always nervous going into visiting TV and radio, but those guys are always so nice, and you'd be surprised how many times they say, "We even trip up over this name. It's blah, blah, blah. Let us tell you how to pronounce it." I write it down phonetically, go back to my booth, and then we do the game. So it's super, there's a lot of prep that goes into it, but I can do a lot of it before I come to the stadium, which is good. And you don't want to get there last minute and have to cram. That's the worst. Then you're asking for trouble. As you guys know, hosting a podcast, if you just did this, this would be a different interview.
Yeah, we mostly kind of fly by the seat of our pants, but when we have a special guest like you, we tend to try to get some questions together so we don't seem like complete idiots.
I am honored, and your bar is really low, you guys.
No.
Yeah,
Thank you,
the fans, I don't think really understand how much hard work gets put in by the entire staff of the ball club. They just go in and they have this perfect experience at the ballpark. Like, oh, it's a wonderful day. The weather's great. The announcers are great. Everything's great. The players are great. They don't realize like how much work to clean the stadium after every game and get it spotless for the next crowd that comes in, or how much work you put in, or everybody else. I mean, it's just, that's the beauty of it. It's like we get to go in and just enjoy the fruits of all of your labors.
Yeah. Well, and by the way, you should. That's exactly how it should be. You shouldn't have to worry about, did Carolyn have to stay up late prepping, or how was her morning show this morning on the breeze because she was up late. Like, you guys just enjoy. We're there to put on a show. It's literally a show. And we want you to enjoy. But I will say, when you mention the people cleaning the stadium, I drive in over the Bay Bridge every morning for work for the radio show, and the lights are on at the ballpark after a game. And I know those lights are on because there are people there that have probably stayed all night that are cleaning to get ready for the game the next day. And that sticks with me because it's great that, like, I have a flashy job as the PA announcer, or Krug and Kipe have their jobs, and Fleming and Miller have their jobs. But the people that are there overnight cleaning, let's give them a nod, because they're the ones putting in the hard work. They've stayed up all night. They're cleaning up after whatever happened the night before. I mean, or even when there are concerts at Oracle Park and we've got a game the next day, and you're tearing down a stage and you're removing audio equipment, and it's insane.
It's really insane. I live 2 blocks from the park, so I go get a coffee at like 6 in the morning and take a walk around the stadium every morning.
Yep.
And like today, they're all-star break, but there's guys out water pressuring the sidewalk. Like, there's always people there, people bringing in all the Coors Lights and all the different bottles of stuff. It's insane. How much influence do you or fans in general have to give somebody an idea for a walk-up song? Because I've got 2 that I really want implemented. And look at Christian Koss. It's too easy. We got Crisscross will make you jump. Like, come on. How is that not happening? And then, of course, Landon Roop, there it is.
Roop, like, there it is.
It's like, can we have a day where the fans get to pick this stuff?
I think you have a better chance with Christian Koss than you do with Landon Roop with Roop, there it is. No, the players obviously pick their own songs, but what I found interesting is I learned that the players, I asked Jeremy, who's our DJ, I'm like, who chooses where that song starts? Because, and I don't know if you guys notice it to this level, but I do, because I'm trying to time out, like, don't step on the vocals of the song, you know, while the player is walking up to the plate. It's just like the little things that I nerd out over. But the players actually tell Jeremy where they want the song to start.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, so it's
fully in their mind how they want it. You know, on that note too, Patrick Bailey went from a full country song to kind of like a hip hop song. Yep. I'm guessing like he was in a funk at the plate and said, I need to change this up or something.
They do that.
Yeah.
They do that. They do that if they're not hitting well or they're in some sort of slump. A lot of times you'll hear them change their song. Elliot Ramos just changed his Walkup song, and don't even ask me what the title is. I just know it in my head how it sounds. But he recently changed his song, and his new Walkup song is a little bit slower than his other song was. I'm like, he's trying to get into a vibe or like a groove walking up to the plate. So it is interesting. I honestly learned about Wilmer Flores' Walkup song being the song from the Rembrandts from the show Friends.
Yep.
I learned during the audition process when I was going through social media, kind of looking to see what fans were thinking of all these people auditioning. The fans were complaining, and they were complaining about stepping on the clap for the Rembrandt song for Friends.
Oh.
Don't you know, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so the fans had been complaining that one of the announcers that was auditioning was stepping on the clap.
Wow.
I was like, noted. So when I went in and I was auditioning and Flores is coming up, I'm like, you best not step on that clap. There are only a couple of times I've stepped on it, and that would just be that Wilmer's still getting ready to come out of the circle on, you know, I don't like to call them to the plate until they've started walking. Maybe they need an extra minute or whatever. I don't want to rush them. It's like I am speaking to them without speaking to them. My eyes are on the player the whole time getting ready to come up to bat. So that would be the only time I stepped on the clap, was like one time with Wilmer. But otherwise, I know I've got like, I think it's 8 seconds before that clap hits. And I've got to get like the first baseman, number 41, Wilmer Flores, and bop, 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 bop. And then I can see the fans clapping, and I'm like, yes. It's the little touches like that, you know, it's important to pay attention to that stuff. It matters.
For sure.
So what's this season so far, what's been the most exciting moment that you were there for?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Great question. It has to be, right now, it has to be last week with the Patrick Bailey
That was
in the park walk-off. And I read that hasn't happened for a catcher in 99 years.
That's right. That's right. And it's only been done by one other catcher. They say that it may have been done by a third catcher, but nobody can really verify that. But yeah, 99 years since that's happened.
1926, yeah.
And did you guys see after the game, of course, they're like celebrating like crazy right in front of the dugout of the Phillies dugout, which was extra special. Did you see Adames rip Bailey's shirt off?
Yeah.
He like pulled his jersey right off, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then, of course, during the post-game interview, Patrick doused again in Gatorade. But I was so happy for that moment. The obvious, right? It was, we won the game, clinched the series. Happy for Patrick, though, because he had been in a little bit of a slump, and you know, I don't know if it's just like the mama bear in me that I see these guys coming up to the plate and I'm like, is he sad right now? Like, is he feeling that he's in a slump? Like, you want them to be happy. So to see Patrick getting that much love from his team and saving the day in winning the series, helping win the series for us, I loved that moment for him. And I will say, my second favorite moment would be along the same lines of Elliot Ramos when we played Texas back in April, getting the Little League home run walk-off. Like, equally fun. Ramos coming across the plate, everybody going nuts. Like, what a moment that was to experience. And again, what makes those moments extra special is the reaction from the crowd. These people still in their seats 9 innings in. Ramos was a day game. Patrick was at night. But these people that have hung in there for the whole game, not knowing how it's going to turn out, and we're all collectively celebrating. We're high-fiving in the booth, too. Like, I love how 40,000 people can feel like one or two, you know? Just, it's such a huge stadium, but it's such an intimate setting at the same time. And I love that. You can't beat it.
Yeah, I mean, Candlestick had those Croy to Candlestick buttons that if you went extra innings and you stayed for the game, they gave them out to you because it was so cold and windy out there. I think we need to have those for Oracle, Croy to Seagull, because in the extra innings.
Totally.
Yeah, the Seagull's internal clocks at Oracle
they show up right.
You see one, then you see two, then there they are. Yeah. Every game.
So you started last season, in the middle of last season. What do you notice that's different about the energy of the team this year? Because I think Greg and I both agree, like with Willie coming in and just some of the changes around, like the energy of the team, the vibe just seems so much better, so much more fun. You know,
absolutely. I couldn't agree more. That's exactly what I would say. The energy of the team is so much better than last year. And I'm not saying last year was bad. It wasn't bad energy, but I definitely noticed a difference. I think, number one, the Buster effect. Just having Buster Posey in there has dramatically improved the energy. I also think with the signing of Adames, and Adames is just such an incredible, charismatic person. I mean, if you don't see him talking out there to somebody on the field, he's having a bad day. And I've never seen that. He's always talking to anybody, the umps, the players on the other team, like everybody. So I would say that. Devers coming in, that was obviously a vibe. And once he gets healthy, he's going to be fine. So I think the people that we've brought on board, I mean, even having Adames at short has brought Chappie out, I think, a little bit of his skin. Like, I noticed Chapman talking more and having more energy, and that he could not wait to come back from his injury. Like, he even said, I'm a terrible injured person. Like, I miss the team. I need to be back out on the field with the team. And so I love the team energy, and I think that while we're having a great season and there's a very good chance we'll go postseason, I think next season's going to be even better. Like, I'm already excited about next season because I think once everybody's healthy and they've had some more time to play together, we're going to see great things next season too. Plus, we have the trade deadline coming up, so who knows what'll happen there.
Yeah, Christian and I always are saying, because you see the naysayers. Everybody wants to have a comment now that there's social media and be the big man on campus type of thing, but nobody expected this team to be where they are before this season. And so now that they are where they are, they want more. And they're not remembering that, like, they're outperforming what you thought they were going to do. You thought they were a 500 team or less, and they haven't been that all season. And the future looks bright. Possibly Bryce Eldridge will be here next year. You don't know what the team's going to do at the trade deadline and then the offseason, but the steps are in the right direction. We're not going down, we're going up, and so it's only going to get better. And guys like Rafael Devers haven't even shown you who they are yet, so it's just like, it's exciting for me to have like this week off where everybody kind of needs a rest and a regroup, maybe mentally, physically, all that, and then they're going to come out. I mean, sadly, it's in Toronto, but once they come back home, we might see a whole more polished, different strength team. And that's just exciting. And I just feel the vibes and the energy of fans that are negative, it can sink into other things. And I think if you're a fan of the team, why not just be rooting for the best? Like,
I agree.
It could be great or it could be bad, and that glass is half full mentality. Why is it the glass is half empty? Just, it's half full, you know? So it's really weird on a lot of people. Kristen and I trip on it all the time because there's talk shows, there's social media, there's these things, and you see the yin and yangs of it where there's sometimes people are just, I want to be as negative as I can. And it's like, but then why aren't you just a football fan or a Dodger fan or something? Like, you're not really being a fanatic, and that's fan is short for the word fanatic. So you're being kind of Debbie Downer, like, you know.
I think that's just the beast of social media, right? It's certainly not limited to baseball. It's everything. It's television shows, actors, actresses. It's everybody gets it, you know, and it's just how it goes. It is unfortunate, but I always say, speaking of glasses half full, like, I always enjoy when I see the comments from people that are like, hey guys, let's remember we're here because we love the Giants. We're going to be fans for life. We're going to be with this team through any slumps that they have, or any whatever, any player challenges, whatever. Like, we are going to be Giants fans no matter what happens. And so I always appreciate those people coming in and reminding the fan pages, like, we're here because we love the Giants. If you don't love the Giants, then, or you're like, just go find another group. Like you said, find another sport. You know, I love when fans are sticking up for the team. I think it's great. Those are the real fans. Right? The people that on social media are like fighting for the team and protecting the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Social media is tough, though. You know, it's always
real tough. You don't want to be. It's kind of like politics. You don't want to be completely ignorant to it, but you don't want to dive 100% in either.
Yeah. Oh, they'll eat you alive. You can't dive in. They'll eat you alive.
Yeah, it may be a generational thing a little bit too, where it's like, Greg and I are old. We've lived baseball our whole lives, and we know it's a 162 game season. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's going to go sideways and things. You can't make the playoffs every year. It just doesn't happen. But if you're a fan of your team, you hang in there. You applaud the great things. You come up with some constructive criticism for the not so great things. But just enjoy your team, and we're blessed. We have the best stadium in the league. We have the best announcers. We have the best of everything. And so for people to complain and just go nuts, it's like, why are you involved? Find like Greg said, find something else that suits your negativity better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No. And by the way, I mean, this ballpark is incredible. We even in the booth every night before the game, we'll be like, look at that ship out on the bay.
Yeah. Your view is incredible.
Oh, it's unbelievable. I mean, I take pictures all the time up there because I can't believe how lucky I am that I get to sit in that seat, which I'll selfishly say is the best seat in the house. I'm sure Kruk and Kipe would say the same thing, and Miller and Fleming would say it. I think everybody in the ballpark would say best seat in the house. The view reserve on the third deck, those are great seats too. Every seat in that stadium has an incredible view. It's the best stadium I've ever been in, hands down.
My dad's seats were just about 6 rows above you, where you sit.
No way!
So when he and I would go to games at the ballpark, it was just like, I don't care that I'm in the third deck because it's all right in front of me. We're almost directly behind home plate. You see everything. You could see down the foul line, all of it, you know?
All of it.
And it's like, I love being closer, but being able to take in the whole game and all of the action, like, you don't have to turn your head or look around. It was wonderful. You know,
I agree.
Such a good view.
Oh, that third deck's incredible. I mean, you know, people joke like, I'm up in the nosebleeds. I'm like, but your view is awesome up there. It's such a great view. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
Well, we got like 1 or 2 more, and we'll let you go. But what's your end goal with this? Are you at your pinnacle? Are you hoping to like get in there with Fleming and those guys and like do some of that, or do you want to ride this into your retirement? Like, what's your vibe as far as like, are you just like, I just take every day for it? Well, like, what are you thinking?
Well, first of all, it's like, I know my limits, and I also know my wheelhouse. So for me to get in there with Fleming and those guys, they're the experts. That is not my wheelhouse. Could I have a conversation with them between innings? Sure. You know, or during an inning? Sure. But that is not my wheelhouse, and I leave that to the experts. It's like almost where you know your lane. Mm-hmm. And my lane is announcing. I love announcing. I don't have the desire to do what those guys do. I love what I do. I will never be perfect at what I do. I will always have room for improvement and work to do, and my work is never done with this. I would love to ride this into retirement, or as long as the Giants will have me. I genuinely am so, and I'm not saying this like as a throwaway. I am so appreciative to have this job, I realized this is a job that a lot of people wanted and a lot of people auditioned for, and I'm the lucky one that gets to sit in that seat, so I will respect that job for as long as they'll have me. So that's where I want to be. I don't have the desire to do anything else.
Sounds
That's
good.
great. You're living your dream.
Totally. Very appreciative. And I get to talk to you guys. It's possible.
Well, you got anything else, Christian?
No, I think we're good. Thank you so much for taking the time, Carolyn. We really appreciate it. It's been a real pleasure to talk to you.
Absolutely, yeah.
Your energy is perfect fit for the Giants, I think. It's great.
Oh my gosh, that's such a nice compliment. Thank you guys. It's really been an honor. You guys are my first podcast.
Oh,
Woo-hoo.
thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And I've been to 40
thank you,
games
Carolyn.
this year, so you know I'm over there, and I'll swing by and give you a high five or a hello or whatever.
You guys, if you come to a game, please do, or reach out to me so I can come out and say hi and take a photo with you. That would be amazing.
It's
I
on.
would love
It's
that.
on. Thank you. And let's
Please
hey,
do.
second half, it's going to only get better. That's the mantra.
Let's go, San Francisco. Let's go, Giants.
Dude, that was one of the most mind-blowing shows I've seen to this day.
Much love.
See you soon. Thank you.
And I am forever a Giant.